The word of this morning is going to be smooth. That is the word we're looking for today. Everything is going to run smooth today here on hashtag Rise and Grind. It's going to be an incredible show. I've got my friend Meggie Jenny waiting in the waiting room. She's eager and ready to get in here and share some time and space with you. So pop on in here, do what you do, tag a friend. Let's get this thing rolling.
Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to seven, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. I love Fridays because we get to meet amazing humans on Fridays. Today is Friday, December 11th, 2020. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Friday, December 11th, 2020. So let's make the most of this absolutely incredible day. Our word of the day is smooth today. Yesterday we had some technological difficulties, but clearly things are looking much brighter this morning because it is 5:34 a.m. and we already have 164 people that are joining us live. Y'all are crazy. What are you doing up this early? Are you out of your minds? Just kidding. I am so thankful that you're here with me this morning. It looks like we're going to have an incredible show. Listen, if this is your first time watching hashtag Rise and Grind, I am Glenn Lundy, the host. I am also the creator of the hashtag Rise and Grind group right here on Facebook. This is the only place online that you're going to find nothing but motivation, education, inspiration. We don't allow anything else in. Believe me, there's like 45 moderators in here and they do not mess around. It's motivation, education, inspiration 24/7. So if you're not a part of that group, do me a favor, hop on in there. You can go to riseandgrindgroup.com to learn more about that and to join us. There's always room for one more. We would love to have you. Also, if you're new to the show, this past week, we've been doing a series on Asia, right? This actually all month we've been traveling all around the world. We spent a week over in Africa. This last week we spent a week in Asia, and my goodness, it is the most beautiful country. It's just incredible the way that they aesthetically are so focused on the beauty and extracting the beauty out of all things. This belief system that they have of oneness and how important it is for us to lift each other up, encourage each other, and how when you win, I win, right? And if you lose, I lose. It's just been an incredibly beautiful journey for me to go on, traveling and learning more. And so I hope you enjoyed that as week. We are as well. We studied a bunch of Chinese proverbs, right? One incredible one, right? Like the best time to take action was 20 years ago, right? The second best time is today. Let's go. Let's take some action. Let's make some moves. We can't do anything about that. So we've been traveling in Asia, but we're going to come back to America today. And I'm going to introduce you to my friend, Meggie Jenny. She is a actress, a writer, a producer. She has this virtual show that's amazing. It's called Meggie Rambles with Other People. What an amazing title, right? And I love how that is. So Maggie's going to join us today. We're going to talk. My guess is her being an actress and her being a writer and a producer. Maybe she's done some traveling as well. So we'll talk about her experience here in just a minute. Before we do, there's one thing that we have to do on this show every morning to get everybody up and running. All 228 of y'all. Here's what I need you to do this morning. All right? For those of you that know, and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right, I need you to hit that share button. Because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where I'm going to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live, or you're watching on replay, or you're listening to the podcast, or you're watching on YouTube, whatever you're doing, make sure you drop me a note so that I know that you're there, so I can say what's up, so that you and I can connect. That's what this is all about. Connection. Me and you. Also, hit a like button, hit a heart button, hit a smiley button, whatever it is, however you're feeling this morning, so that I can connect with you energy-wise. I see that. It jacks me up. I'll jack you up. It's a fair exchange. Fair enough? Can you do that for me? Good morning, Tabitha. How you doing? Brad Smith, West Storm, Don Sankey, Sean Jones, Susan Rose. How you doing? Salia, all the way out there in Australia. What's up, Jeff Baker? Great to see you this morning. Janelle Griego, Rick Tamburino, Nathaniel Banks. We've got Sarah Ham up in here this morning. How you doing, Sarah Ham? I haven't seen your name before. I'm so glad that you're here. What's up, Don Sankey, Kim Fair, Bradley Silver's in the house, Marilyn Wilkin. We've got Ray Hatcher, Melvin Rodriguez, Melinda Gayheimer, Michelle Gravely's up in here, Janelle Griego, Krista Bug. Dude, Meggie, can you believe all these crazy people are up in here this morning?
No, I can't, because it is so early.
It is. It's nuts, isn't it? We've also got Liza Myers-Borges. She's out there in Virginia. I know she's running right now. Julio Soto's up in here. Linda LaBonde. We've got Kristen Hawk-Tibbs, Kevin Fadley, Michelle Tyson's up in here. Oh, my goodness. Mike Higdon, Eddie Brown. There's just all kinds of folks up in here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Listen, guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you being up here with me this morning. Today's going to be an incredible episode. So we're just going to dive right in. I'm going to bring in my friend Meggie right here, right now on hashtag Rise and Grind. Meggie, do you like to dance?
I do like to dance. Yeah.
Yeah? Dancing's your jam?
A little bit. I mean, I don't know if I'm real good at it, but
we don't have to be good at it to like it, right?
I don't let that stop me.
That's right. Sure. I love that. Can't let that stop you. All right, we better turn the music off. We're gonna wake up your kids over there. It's like 4:40 a.m. where you're at, right?
It is. It is. And I'm really an angry elf in the morning. Like, I do not like mornings. My husband wakes up and he wants to use all of his words immediately. And I'm like, you need to tone it down. 10 words or less, buddy. It's too much.
I love that. An angry elf. I'm not sure I've heard anybody, had anybody call themselves an angry elf right out the gate.
Mm-hmm. Right out the gate. I'm just going to be transparent. I'm not a fan. I'm not.
I so love it. Good morning. So you're in Missouri.
I am.
4:40 a.m. You've chosen to spend some time with us this morning, which we so appreciate. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. So let's talk a little bit about Meggie. So Meggie is actress, writer, producer. Right? You got your live show. I went in, I've been looking at like your clips. You're like dramatic in a lot of clips. You're so funny in a lot of clips. Like, I love it. There's so many different things that you've done and touched on a little bit. So I just want to know, like, how did you get into this world that you live in of acting and writing and producing and all of that?
Yeah, honestly, I can't give myself any credit for that. I mean, the Lord totally opened that door for me. And I did it in school, like, people who like this stuff do. And I've then graduated and realized I live in the middle of the country and have no plans to move. And I was like, well, I guess that's done. And I was fine with that. I was like, being a grown up, got to pay your bills, and just did some stuff for church and whatnot. My husband and I actually have a custom guitar shop called MJT. So we were doing a guitar for a local variety show, and they're like, yeah, we need another actress. And my father-in-law's like, my daughter does that. You should call her in.
Mm,
And
mm.
so he did, and I did a season of that show, and it kind of opened my eyes to indie film and the fact that I can live in my little Missouri town and still travel and do what I love. And God was just like, nope, I'm not done with you yet. So it's really cool because I didn't open that door. He opened it and kind of pushed me through it, which was fantastic.
Yes, I feel that, I resonate with that, and I love that, right? God
Mhm.
opened the door. It makes it a little easier when you don't have to go
Oh, for
bang it
sure.
down, right?
Well, and who wants to go through a door you had to bang your way into, right? You're like, nah, I don't want to be here if you don't want me here. Like, it's cool. I'll go home. I got snacks there. Like, it's fine.
Right, right, right. I totally agree with that. And it's so interesting because I used to live on the other side of that. I used to try to bang down every single door possible, I was like, my destiny's on the other side of that
Right.
door. I've got to break through. And it's fun when you come to the realization like, no, it's not, if it's closed, it might be closed for a reason, right?
Exactly.
It
He
might
might be
just
protecting me from something that I really should not be mixed up in, you
That's
know?
exactly right. I love it. I love it.
Especially when you're young, because when you're young, you're kind of dumb, like you don't have enough world experience to be like, maybe this is a bad idea. Right?
So quick, I'm not going to ask your particular age, but I am going to ask this since you brought it up. Is the next generation getting dumber?
So here's what I think. It's not that they're getting dumber. I think the fact is they have access to too many easy solutions.
Yeah,
And so because of that, they first of all, they're never bored as a child. Do you see a child now? They're never just sitting there figuring
right.
out how to entertain themselves. So they have zero, maybe not zero. They have limited problem solving skills because being bored is actually a life skill. Like it teaches you to solve your problem.
I
Our kids
agree.
are never bored. They hear, oh, okay, well, I don't want to cause a problem here. Watch this on my phone or play this game on this. And like, no one's bored anymore. Like when I was driving long car rides, it was like the ABC game where you had to like find all of the alphabet letters on signs. Now it's like, can we watch a movie? And they watch a movie through it. It's like, no one's bored. These kids, let your kids be bored. I promise you, it will serve them well in life.
I agree. There's so much to be said to like having nothing to do, right? You've got to
Yeah.
sit, you've got to think, you've got to reflect, you've got to create, you got to imagine,
Yeah.
you got to work this mind muscle, right, in order to be moving forward. That's awesome. I love that.
Let's
And
think about all the stupid games we played when we were kids. Like
mm,
it wasn't because we were just such brilliant children. It was because we were bored out of our mind and we're like, how do we make this go away?
right.
Right?
One of the most famous games of all time is kick the can,
Right.
right? Like that's not a brilliant game. You're
Really not
bored to death.
bored.
I'm going to
Yes.
kick it a little further. I can kick it further than you.
Hmm.
I'm with you there. I think we're onto something. I think that
Yeah.
that's the solution for the future is you need to steer your children towards boredom
Yeah,
as
obviously.
much as humanly possible, right?
Absolutely. And my kids really are not a fan of this theory, but I'm like, listen, being bored will serve you well in life. Go stare at a wall. I don't know what to tell you.
I love it. I love it. Talking on the lines of a little quiet time, a little downtime, a little
Okay.
reflection time. I have I tend to find that people that have had success or that are doing brilliant and amazing things like yourself, I tend to find that they all kind of have some type of morning routine or something that they do consistently every day when they wake up. I'm obviously a big advocate of the morning routines, which is why we're here. So I was curious, in your world, how do you start your day?
Man, I'm not a good example of that. I'm really not. And I wish I was better at it because I'm always like, you know what I'm going to do in the morning? And then like the morning comes and I'm like, this is awful. Like, I just, so, like, you probably have so many morning people because they're like, what time do I have to be there? Yeah, okay, I can do that. Mornings are great. I'm like, what time do I have to be there? Oh gosh.
Right,
Oh,
right.
like, I plan on going back to bed after this, guys. Like, legit. Like,
That's okay. That's all right. I'm
no,
okay
I
with that.
seriously, I'm the worst. I get up, I probably don't speak for the first 20 minutes I'm awake.
Okay.
If I can get away with it. And, get the kids off to school and whatnot. I come home and, I read the Bible and kind of, wake up a little bit because words are hard in the morning. And I'm like, ugh.
Sure.
And then, once I've kind of done that and spent some time kind of, just really waking up and getting focused, then it's like, okay, now I can move on to my checklist. But no, it's hard. It's hard to fall into a routine when you don't have a routine kind of forced on you, like with a work schedule that you
Sure.
get to determine. It forces you to be more organized and more disciplined because you're the boss. No one's going to fire you. So
Right. Yeah, I agree 100%. And even in what you just said there, that you still tapped into the most important things, right? Mind, body, and spirit. You spoke on all three. You're like, okay, I created some space for myself. Don't talk to me for 20 minutes, right?
right.
Everybody leave me alone. Don't talk to me for 20 minutes.
I
I'm
mean, you
creating
can
some
talk to me, but I'm not going to talk back.
right. Just being clear, right? Right?
We're
And then you
solving the
kind of
world's
get some
problems.
things in motion, you're serving others, then you spend some time in the Word so that you can spiritually get fulfilled, right? Before you go out there into the big bad world and take on the day. And that's what we tend to find, man. It's just so important. We got to hit that reset button, we got to get rolling each day. During this I'm afraid to say certain words on Facebook because you never know when they're, is he on our side or is he not on our side? We need to get
Oh my
real clear on
gosh,
that.
maybe we should hate him.
That's
I
right.
think I'm gonna already have a beef with you for no good reason because that seems to be the way that the internet works now,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Ugh,
like they hate you first and
yes.
then they'll decide
Then
later.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Why
But
don't we
with
just
all
be nice to
this,
people? Like,
right? Where did that go? With all of this that's been going on, like you just talked about, people have been forced kind of to not have those disciplines, those mornings. They don't have to get up and go to work. They don't have to send the kids off. They can they can work in their pajamas, bottom half, you know,
listen, I'm doing that
business
right
up
now.
top. Right. So what do you suggest for, how do they stay productive? How do they keep it moving when they don't have the boss man leaning over the shoulder?
It is really, really, really hard. It's really hard to fall into something that you consistently don't blow off because it's so easy when you don't have someone really breathing down your throat, especially with the homeschooling situation. Like I am so blessed that I get to take my children to school every day.
Hmm.
Well, I mean,
Hmm.
5 days a week. Like, oh, I love you so much. Go learn from someone else. Like,
Right.
but uh, but for those that are learning at home, like it's very challenging, especially if your kids like aren't morning people. Mine are. They get that from their dad. They wake up in the morning, they're like, let's go. And I'm like, settle down. So I'm lucky in that sense. But I really just think, honestly, you have to have a schedule and you have to honestly write it down. If
Yeah.
you're not extremely disciplined, you have to just kind of know, okay, by this time I need to be checking this box and moving on to the next thing because otherwise it's so easy to be distracted. I mean, you pick up your phone to check a text that came in and it's like an hour later and you're like, why am I still on this thing? It's
No
so easy
doubt.
to be distracted.
Yeah, no doubt. That happens to me like, oh, I'm like, why was I here again? Why did I pick up? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I went to go do that one thing and now 12 minutes has gone by. So
Yep.
I'm totally with you on that. Let's go a little different direction real quick. So we've been studying here on the show. We've spent last week in Asia. We spent the week before in Africa, and we've been studying kind of their cultures, their belief systems, the wisdom that comes from ancient, thousands of years of civilization. Those things, kind of things. It's been kind of cool. In Africa they have this word Ubuntu, and Ubuntu stands for I am because you are. And really, it's this philosophy of oneness, right? It takes a village type thing to
Yeah.
to raise, and that it's so important that we lift and encourage, one another. So it's been really neat going through these different philosophies and cultures and belief systems. With you being in the acting world and some of the things that you've done, has it taken you anywhere? Have you done any journeying or traveling? And what have those
I mean,
experiences been like?
I haven't been like a jet setter, that's for sure. No, I've done some traveling within the United States. I haven't left the United States
Hmm.
yet. We'll
Hmm.
see what happens. Have a passport, we'll travel.
All right.
But no, oh gosh, I had a traveling nightmare not that long ago, actually in September. I was shooting a feature film in Ohio. No big deal, coming home. Um, the poor woman who was taking me to the airport got onto the highway the wrong way and I missed my flight. So no big deal, booked a later one. I was like, it's fine. My daughter's birthday is the next day. And I'm like, oh, listen, I gotta get, I have to be home. Like birthdays are important. Like that's a glass ball. I can't drop that. Like it'll shatter. So I'm like, okay, well, I got on a later flight, no big deal. And then my flight gets canceled in Dallas. And I'm like, no, I have to get home. So here I am now, renting a car, which is, by the way, the last car out of the airport, and drove.
Right.
I didn't even get home until like almost 5 a.m. I had to get her up and then go, I slept for like an hour. Luckily,
Right.
I was able to send this poor child of mine to school for her birthday. Like, happy birthday, go to school. Because
Right.
take a nap because I was like, I'm gonna die. Like, this is so much.
Crazy.
But yeah, I mean, like it's weird traveling now. It's really strange. But I mean, I like it. I like that there's kind of the unpredictability of it. I really
Yeah.
like the people. That's one thing I really like about my job is the people. Sometimes they suck, but usually they don't. Usually they're awesome. And usually by the end of a project, like, I not only have new friends, I have like a new little family.
Yeah.
And that's something to get used to is then, you don't see him for a really long time. You might not ever see him again,
Right.
but you spend so much time with him and so much time and acting's a weird thing. Like you have to be so vulnerable and open to be transparent that it creates really strong relationships really quickly. So you leave a set and you're like, oh my gosh, I love you guys. You're awesome. Might never see you again. Like,
Right. Right.
it's so weird.
Let's talk about that a little bit. So you're required to become someone else
Yeah.
when as an actress, you're literally required to become someone else. And I think that naturally we kind of do that in when we're going to work, right? Like we
Hmm.
put on our work face, we put on our black black dress dinner night face. We
Hmm.
have our grouchy elf in the morning face, right? Like
Yeah.
I think naturally we have some of these. But how do you purposely and intentionally shift your state, right? Like it's a whole different deal to literally become someone else. How do you do that? How do you shift state so you can become someone that you're not necessarily like you're not?
Yeah, well, and I think the biggest thing for me is I always find the emotional motivations of things, because everyone's the hero of their own story, and so even if someone in the movies like is the villain, it's the person you're going to hate, and I play those people. It happens, um, but you have to find out why they're doing what they're doing, and because to them it's justified. There's justice behind it, or there's
Mm,
some sort of vindication,
mm,
or they've been
I like
wronged.
that. Hmm.
And so even when they're a horrible person, to them they're not. To
Hmm.
them they're the hero. And so when you can find out what's going on with them emotionally and why they're handling things that way, it just kind of it shifts because everyone has something that they've gone through. Like, if I was playing a serial killer, obviously I'm not out there doing that, guys. But there have been things in my life that I've kind of killed off for certain reasons or another. Like maybe it was a dream that I had that I was just like, that's just not reality. And you just kind of shut that door. Or, you know what I mean? So you kind of tap into that moment of like closure of doneness. And then you're like, okay, now I can I can understand this, or you can kind of peel back the onion, like Shrek said, you know, ogres have layers, onions have layers.
Right.
Like everyone's got a little bit of something going on beneath the surface. The interesting part that I love is finding out their relationships and how it serves a story because you your role as an actor is not to just be like, oh my gosh, I'm so amazing, watch me. Like, obviously you're going to be seen if you're on the screen, but your job is to serve the story. It's not to be the star of the star or star of the show unless you are indeed the star of the show. uh,
Hmm.
So I think that's the really fun part to me, is really to dig into that and be like, okay, who is this person? And then how do they fit into this story?
I love that. So by getting a real understanding of the relationships, the dynamics, putting
Hmm.
yourself in other people's shoes, right?
Hmm.
Figuring out their motivations, what moves them emotionally, that allows you to shift your state and
Yeah.
ultimately serve the overall, story. I think that there are a lot of life lessons
Sure.
in what you just shared right there.
Yeah, acting requires a lot of empathy, and I feel like that's something, it seems that that is undervalued in our society right now, is having empathy for other people and understanding what they're going through and what motivates their choices right now, because you may not understand everything because you don't know their whole life. But if you can relate to them and why they're, I mean, like, let's, even in the most basic of sense, like the jerk at the store who was, like, we don't know what's going on with him. But then
Hmm.
have, like, you've never had a bad day in a store, like you've never snapped off at a stranger who cut you off, or whatever it was. Like, come on now, calm down. Everyone has bad days. Just have a little empathy for people around you.
Hmm. 100%. I think that that is spot on and more relevant now than ever. Like there
Hmm.
was a guy at a gas station here in Lexington that like I used to be pretty scrappy. Like when I was young, I used to like to fight a long time ago.
Hmm.
When, when I was that young, really smart kid that you were talking
Yeah.
about earlier. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
solid life choices.
Yes, exactly,
Mhm.
right? Like, anger, let it out. Take it out on somebody else. That was
Yeah,
my philosophy back then.
can't keep that in.
Yeah, yeah, you don't want to keep that in. Better out than in, I always say, Shrek style.
I love it.
Right? But it's been a long time since I've really punched somebody. But there was a guy at the gas station and he made me so angry and I wanted to just punch him, right? This was like 3 or 4 months ago. And it's I didn't in that moment, but I tried to often go, okay, what is that? Why is he this way? Right? Like,
Yeah.
and I think that taking that deep breath sometimes when we do want to punch someone in the face is one of the best things that we can do to really just take a second, put yourself in their shoes and go, okay, why are they acting this way? I have to do it with my
Right.
kids too, right? And I don't
Oh
know the
no.
answer most of the time.
Oh
I
no.
have no idea why they're acting that way.
Oh well, and it's like it's like the proverbs say, like a fool can seem wise as long as he remains quiet. Like, just stop talking. Like, you don't shush it. It's fine. You don't need to have this fight right now in the middle of the store. I promise you, it's not going to solve anything. Or on Facebook, or on
Right.
Instagram, or wherever you like to bicker with people. Like, promise you, it's not. You're not winning any wars, honey. Like,
Not gonna
coming off
happen.
like just coming off like a tool. Like,
I agree 100%. I hope you guys didn't miss that. There's 271 of y'all on here this morning. She just dropped like I mean, mic drop moment right there on you. Okay. So I know maybe you weren't paying attention. Maybe you were running. Maybe you were making sure you were crossing the street, or maybe you were grabbing your cup of coffee or whatever. So I just want you to catch that. Even a fool can seem wise, right? Just keep your mouth shut and just stay quiet.
mhm.
Deep breath. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Hearing what you're
I,
saying right now. I'm gonna walk away.
that's
Great. Great.
right.
I'm gonna
I
just be with
love
this.
it.
Uh-huh.
There is it's right at 6. So hang on just a second, Maggie, because I have to do something and then
Do
I'm
it.
coming right back to you. All
Okay.
right. Hey, listen, I want to be mindful of morning routines. I do believe in scheduling. I do believe that if you change the way you start your day, it'll make a massive impact in your life. And so, because of that, it is 6 a.m. right here. And so, I understand if you have to go right now, go. You got to stay in routine, stay in routine. You got to do your thing, do your thing. But do me a favor before you head out of here, hit that share button and please make sure to blow Meggie Jenny up today. Look, it's 4:30 in the morning over there for her. It is not easy to come on hashtag rise and grind this early in the morning and be, lights on with 280 people breathing down your neck first thing in the morning. It's not an easy thing. So the best way we can honor our guests is to pour into them, encourage them, lift them up. Let her know she made an impact in you today. Hit that share button. Let's get her as much exposure as she can because she's an amazing human being. If you need more videos like this, you can go to glennlundy.com. We've got, this is episode 765, so you can always go there. We've got the podcast, we've got the YouTube, all those things. You can find us, no problem. So if you got to go, head on out, have an amazing day. Come back here again tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do it all over again. But for the rest of you smart people, you should stay right here with me and Maggie.
Nothing else on.
Right, that's right. Just saying. What is one of the biggest lessons that let's just say you've had a lot of experiences, a lot of done a lot of different things as far as writing, producing. It seems as though you are walking in your like purpose, right? Like you're doing what you were made to do. When I looked you up and did some research and stuff, like I'm like, okay, yeah, this is like her jam. This is her gift. This is how she's making an impact, right? You can just see it. And so there's a lot of people that reach out to me. There's a lot of people that are like, Glenn, I can't find my purpose. What is my purpose? I'm searching for purpose. How do I, so on and so forth. And so I was just curious from you, what is maybe one lesson that you could help us with? Like, how did you know that this was for you? And how'd you step into it? And how could someone else that's maybe struggling in that area, how could we guide them this morning?
I think one thing that's important to know is your purpose doesn't stay the same. It shifts. It shifts as you grow, as your life changes, as the world around you changes, as the people in your life change. Things change. This wasn't always what I was doing. I have two awesome kids, and for a very big season, they were my world and what I did all the time. And it was brilliant. And don't get me wrong, they're awesome now too. I just have other things on the plate. But and I think that's one thing that you kind of just need to keep in mind is right now is not your forever. Find what the thing that you just can't seem to stop thinking about in a healthy way, like not obsessive, like freak out way,
right.
But the thing that, is just kind of always seems to be in the back of your mind. Like I kind of shut this door for myself, but I always loved it. Like it was always still something that was intriguing to me. It was never something that I was like, well, I'm done. I guess I don't care about that anymore. It's just something I had determined wasn't for me. So I think it's really a matter of just every single day finding the things that bring you that joy. What is it that kind of gives you that spark? And honestly, for me, and to my walk with the Lord, like I trust that every single day he's going to open the right doors for me. And every single day he's going to close the right doors because I don't want to be knocking them open if I shouldn't be in that room. And I think that everyone just really, you can't force it. You can't force it because everything has a season and everything has a time. And every single day, there's a reason you're alive. Every single day, there's something you're meant to do. There's some way you're meant to impact the world around you. Even it's as simple as just waving to your neighbor in the neighborhood drive to work.
Right.
Like there's a story that I read of a gentleman. This is real life. That was headed to commit suicide because he felt like no one saw him, and a neighbor waved at him as he was leaving the neighborhood. And that shifted his entire life. Yeah. And because of that, he felt seen. Like it's the smallest little details that you will never know the impact of that will impact the world around you. That's why it's so important to not get caught up in your feelings because your feelings will lie to you.
Right.
And stay grounded in truth and to be able to walk in truth, in love, in kindness, in compassion for the world around you. And we're that old adage, want to leave the world a better place. Yeah, that's all great for recycling and all those things too. But how about we leave the people a little bit better, And I think anyone's real purpose is going to be found in serving others. It's always about serving others.
Girl, you are preaching this morning, and I am loving it. Let's leave the world a better place. Yeah, great. What about the people? That you mentioned the invisibleness. I actually spent a season of my life homeless, and that was the worst part. No food, no problem. Like no money, no problem. Nowhere to sleep, no problem. Being completely and utterly invisible where people wouldn't make eye contact with me, devastating.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it comes from. People want to be seen and deserve to be seen,
Mm-hmm.
right? I love how you tapped into our purpose shifts, and there's different seasons that
Mm-hmm.
we go through. I'm a big believer in that, and as far as identifying when one season's done and
Yeah, and
it's time
sometimes
for you,
it's hard,
it
like
is
there have been some doors closed that I grieved over, and that's okay. That's fine. I mean,
sure.
they meant something to you, but now that's done. And just like if you're a big summer person and you're like, ugh, fall, it's gonna be the worst. Like, it's okay. There's gonna be another great season coming.
That's right. That's right. Something is on the other side of all of these seasons.
Yeah.
Even the good ones, the good ones, the not so good ones. There's always something on the other side of all of these seasons. I love that you tapped into that. I thought that was really, really beautiful and special. And I believe, like you believe, that we are children of God, the God of the universe, and we all have ways that our decisions impact others that are by design that we'll never know, and we just need to trust, right, and continue to step into that as much as possible. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna do one last thing and I'm gonna let you go back to bed.
Sounds great.
One last thing that I'm gonna let you go to bed. I want you to just imagine using that beautifully bored brain, right? Because we're just gonna go into the bored brain creative space, and I want you to
Perfect.
just imagine that you are on top of a mountain, and all of civilization is at the base of the mountain. They're all there, right? And they're cheering you on. They're like, Maggie, 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 Maggie. And someone walks over and hands you a microphone. And they say, Maggie, you've got 2 minutes to drop something on them, practical application wisdom that they can apply in their life today, this week, this month, this year. What are you going to tell them?
Every day is a gift from God, and we are not promised another. And so we need to make every single moment count, and we need to make our election sure because we do not get to decide when we go. We are not promised another week, another month, another year, a decade. Guys, today's it. You're breathing right now from the gift of God. And I'm telling you right now, you are here because God loves you and he sent his son to die on the cross for you. And if you want to know the peace that passes understanding and joy like you have never experienced before, it comes from God. And so the best way to do life is to give your life to him and to serve him because trust me, I'm a living testament that his plans are way better than my plans. And guys, I had some plans, but his blew them out of the water.
Hmm.
So you want that for you. And anything that's holding you back, trust me, on the other side of this, so not worth it. Also, guys, the mountain is really hard to climb. So if you got some big dreams, you better have some big work ethic too, because I'm pretty sure if I'm on the top of a mountain, I had to climb my way up there. So hopefully there's a chair and maybe some water. Like,
I love it. That, my friends, is Meggie Jenny. Give her a round of applause. Throw her some love. Blow her up today. Share her out to the world. Meggie, thank you so much.
yeah, hey, I'm just for like a hot second. Guys, I'm actually doing a giveaway on my talk show on
Uh-oh.
December
Uh-oh.
16th. I'm actually giving away $500 cash. And I'm giving
What?
away loads of other prizes as well. So go to Meggie Rambles on Facebook. You can find the details to enter to win. Just saying.
Meggie Rambles on Facebook. $500 giveaway. That's what I'm talking about. Some
Oh,
Christmas money, right? A little
dang right.
Christmas cash.
Oh,
You
Christmas.
need that. Maggie, I'm so glad that we're connected. You clearly are a child of God, the God of the universe, God that made everything, made you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And you're stepping into it, you're leaning into it, you're making those decisions every day that are making an impact in the lives of everyone around you. Today, you made a massive impact on us, and I, for one, absolutely stinking love you for it. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
You are the best. Hey, That was my friend Meggie Jenny. Go follow her, dude. I'm telling you. You gotta blow her up. You gotta blow her up. You gotta blow her up. And you're gonna go maybe win some money, right? Look at this thing. Maggie rambles with other people. I love it. I'm going to go catch an episode right now, as a matter of fact. I don't know where you're headed, but I hope that today you are more inspired. You got a little extra pep in your step. I know that I do, so I'm going to go attack the day. You go attack the day, and then meet me back here on Monday. Can you do that? Can you come back here again Monday morning at 5:30 a.m. because we're going to do this all over again on hashtag Rise and Grind. Enjoy your weekend. Know that I love you deeply. I am cheering for you. I am rooting for you. I believe in you. You are my brother. You are my sister. So go out there and get it. Charles Baldwin, great to see you. Stu Young, great to see you. The 290 of you that stayed with us, even though we're a little bit late, thank you. I appreciate you. Get out there and make it happen. Have an incredible day. See ya.